In October 732, a pivotal moment unfolded in the plains of central France. Two powerful forces marched toward an unexpected and world-shaping confrontation. The expanding Umayyad Caliphate pushed northward, testing local regional defenses. Led by the ambitious governor of Al-Andalus, their cavalry scouted the terrain. These highly mobile riders sought to secure critical paths across the countryside.
Observing from distant woodlands, Frankish scouts monitored every host movement. We'll need a better vantage point. Agreed.
Charles Martel, the rising Frankish military commander, prepared a defensive response. The same Charles Martel analyzed the battlefield with calculated, calm focus. Local allied warriors and professional foot soldiers quickly assembled behind him. The stage was set for a massive clash of military strategies. The Umayyad army advanced with a large, highly organized expeditionary force. Thousands of experienced horsemen and swift infantry moved through the valleys. Their diverse troops carried light shields, curved swords, and versatile lances. Skilled archers prepared their composite bows for the upcoming battle ahead.
A mixture of Arab nobles and Berber warriors formed their ranks.
Dust rose high as horses adapted quickly to the cool weather. Al-Rahman rode majestically near the front of his marching army.
The same al-Rahman studied the gray northern horizon with confidence.
Banners representing the caliphate fluttered proudly against the damp autumn wind. They represented one of the most formidable expansionist empires in history. Understanding his tactical disadvantage, Charles Martel chose high, wooded ground. His seasoned Frankish infantry began locking their heavy wooden shields together. Gleaming iron spear points projected outward, forming an impenetrable defensive barrier. Wealthier Frankish nobles adjusted their heavy mail coats and protective shields.
The same Charles Martel rode behind the line to inspire discipline.
His captains coordinated positions to prevent any sudden flank intrusion.
They formed a tight, dense square, resembling an unyielding stone wall. This defensive cohesion was designed to withstand rapid and repeated cavalry attacks. Every soldier stood shoulder to shoulder, leaving no gaps for the enemy. Positioned on the forested slope, the Franks awaited the impending storm.
Umayyad scouts halted, observing the formidable Frankish position from below.
The Frankish defenders watched silently as the valley filled with soldiers. A cold breeze swept across the open fields separating the armies. The nervous movement of horses broke the tense silence of dawn.
The same al-Rahman discussed tactical approaches with his cavalry commanders. We must encircle them by night. Agreed, the pass is our advantage.
The same Charles Martel commanded his men to hold formation at all costs.
Hold the wall!
Young recruits gripped their weapons tightly, feeling the heavy pre-battle tension. Experienced veterans stood resolute, drawing strength from years of hard campaigns. Both commanders knew the terrain would dictate the final dramatic outcome.
The silence broke as the first maneuvers of the battle began. Umayyad light cavalry surged forward, testing the strength of the flanks.
The defensive shield wall braced, locking shoulders against the oncoming pressure.
Mounted warriors galloped up the slope, kicking up wet autumn mud. A dense rain of arrows and light javelins filled the air.
Projectiles rained down, clattering harmlessly against the thick wooden shields. The Franks tightened their grip, maintaining an unbroken line of defense.
The steep terrain slowed the initial momentum of the charging cavalry.
Rank upon rank of iron spears pointed outward, threatening the horses. The first major collision erupted in a flurry of sparks and wood. Against the crushing weight of horsemen, the shield wall stood firm. Within the dense formation, soldiers braced against the overwhelming physical pressure. Umayyad spears thrust repeatedly into the gaps of the wooden wall. Planks cracked under intense impact, but the solid line did not break.
Behind the front line, warriors pushed forward to support their brothers.
Struggling against the dense spears, the charging horses recoiled in panic. The Umayyad cavalry pulled back temporarily to regroup and assess tactics. Exhausted Frankish infantry caught their breath, eyes fixed on the enemy. The trampled grass turned to mud, stained with the first casualties.
The same Charles and Charles Martel monitored the line, ensuring no weak spots opened. Hold the center.
Despite the ferocity of the charge, the defensive square remained unbroken.
Umayyad commanders ordered another coordinated wave of archers to advance.
A second deadly volley of arrows arched high over the battlefield. Frankish shields angled upward to deflect the incoming hail of iron. Several men fell wounded, but the defensive line immediately closed up. Substitutes stepped forward quickly to maintain the integrity of the wall. Another heavy cavalry contingent swept around, attacking from a different angle. They slammed into the shield wall with immense, desperate physical force. Horses slipped and stumbled on the increasingly slick, wet soil. Wounded Frankish soldiers were dragged to safety by their loyal comrades. The same Abdi al-Rahman watched the ongoing stalemate with growing tactical concern. Dust and smoke rose, obscuring vision across the chaotic, muddy valley. Isolated, fierce skirmishes broke out along the edges of the formation. Steel rings loudly against iron. Frankish warriors thrust their heavy spears forward to repel persistent attackers. Umayyad riders continually circled, searching for any vulnerability in the defense. The disciplined Franks shifted their weight, rotating shields to meet threats. A curved sword struck an iron-rimmed shield, echoing across the field.
An infantryman struck back quickly, maintaining the integrity of his station.
Both sides pulled back slightly, breathing heavily in the cold air.
Steam rose from the flanks of the exhausted, sweat-drenched horses. Hours of relentless combat left the battlefield littered with broken debris.
The same al-Rahman rode closer to the front to lead personally. Move forward, my brothers! We will hold the line for our people.
He ordered a massive, final coordinated assault against the central line.
The entire Umayyad cavalry force surged forward in one desperate push. Their infantry advanced alongside them, shouting battle cries to intimidate defenders. The Franks braced themselves for the most severe impact of the day.
The scene immediately erupts into a violent cacophony of loud crashing metal and splintering wood.
A brutal, desperate hand-to-hand struggle ensued along the entire front. Swords struck armor repeatedly as both sides fought with absolute resolve. Strong defensive barriers held firm and completely halted the oncoming momentum. Though the Frankish line bent slightly, its cohesion remained remarkably unbroken.
The same al-Rahman charged into the thickest part of the melee.
His elite mounted bodyguards stood resolutely to protect their noble leader.
Thick dust and smoke enveloped the central cluster of chaotic fighting. Frankish infantry pressed forward, surrounding the elite enemy cavalry unit.
The same al-Rahman shouted commands, attempting to rally his wavering troops. Align your ranks! Hold the line! Protect the flanks! Move, you cowards!
A group of seasoned Frankish spearmen surged forward, isolating the commander.
In the chaotic swirl of the encounter, al-Rahman was overcome. His riderless horse bolted through the dust, signaling disaster to all.
Word of the governor's sudden demise spread rapidly through the ranks.
The Umayyad offensive instantly lost its driving momentum and coordination.
Demoralized by their leader's loss, some units began pulling back slowly.
Mounted warriors looked back in dismay as their cohesion completely shattered.
The Frankish infantry cautiously stepped forward, maintaining their tight defensive shape.
The withdrawal spread across the valley, turning into an organized retreat. Discarded weapons and broken armor lay scattered across the muddy battlefield. Exhausted horses limped away from the scene of the historic struggle. The same Charles held his men back, avoiding a dangerous counter-ambush. The remaining Umayyad forces faded into the southern mist at sunset. As dusk fell, a heavy silence descended upon the quiet valley. Broken shields and discarded lances remained as silent witnesses of combat. The same Charles_Martel surveyed the field, realizing the magnitude of victory. The Battle of Tours secured Frankish power, forever altering European history.